The Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department's drivers are first to complete a new driver simulator course that gives them further instruction into dealing with realistic dangers that their work entails. Fire instructor Joey Edwards tells us the purpose of the simulator.
The fire simulator is a way for us to train driver operators in fire and emergency services on how to get to and from calls safely and effectively, as well as give them a real-world scenario so they can be accustomed to that before they get to the real world.
This new course has recently been added to the curriculum for the Tennessee Fire Service and Codes Academy, also known as TFACA. The TFACA's new driving simulator gives more safety training and situational awareness for firefighters who would be operating vehicles while responding to an emergency. And the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department is the first fire department in the state to receive this type of training.
It was very interesting because it gives us real-life scenarios that we would face on the streets, but not have the consequences of actually running over somebody.
But what makes this course such an innovative tool for training drivers when compared to the method that was previously used?
Typically what we've done is have what we call an EVOC course set up, where it's a cone course where you really can't put vehicles and structures involved in it, and we don't get to run emergency traffic in those. Here's where we can be able to set up real life scenarios so people can actually test their judgment versus just their knowledge and their actual skills.
The course creates real-world experiences that enable drivers to hone their skills with a variety of challenging situations, featuring everything from busy intersections to neighborhoods with children at play. This also allows drivers to practice driving a much larger vehicle than what they are probably accustomed to in an environment that allows them to learn from their mistakes without the risk of injuring someone.
We want the student to feel the real-life scenario and the real-life effect of how vehicles are traveling to and from, and kind of the moral ramifications of when you do have an accident.
And if you thought that fighting fires was dangerous, here's a sobering fact when it comes to the gravity of this profession.
In 2014, it was stated that firefighters were more likely to be injured basically traveling to and from calls than actually being on the scene itself.
And vehicle accidents remain one of the leading causes of firefighter fatalities, which further explains the need for such an innovative instrument as the simulator, so that drivers can be as prepared as possible for life-threatening situations.
It's a good tool for all drivers, new and old, to remind us that we need to be defensive drivers. We can't always tell what the public's going to do when we come near them. Some of them tend to overreact, some of them don't react, just stop. So it is a very good tool for us to use to learn.
This type of training enables the student to experience various situations without the logistical, legal, and moral ramifications that would be attached to a mistake in reality. Unlike traditional driver safety courses, which emphasize skills, laws, and knowledge, the simulator empowers drivers to review their approaches and find new habits that work.
If you're a driver of an engine company, you may have 3 or 4 other personnel on there that you got to make sure that you gets there on time and unhurt, because if you cause an accident, you've defeated the purpose of the accident you was going to or the situation.
Which is why it is severely important for drivers to be as prepared as they possibly can be for any type of situation.
When you have an accident in a video game, there's a reset button. In the real world, outside of our gate here, there is no reset button for us to hit. We try to fill out accident reports, get them to feel the full effects of what an accident can cost a city, an employee, and better yet, a family that was in need of help.
And citizens can also do their part to simplify the process.
In my 7 years of driving, responding to calls, it has happened a few times where cars have just failed to yield. We'll come to a red light and we'll stop and we'll look both directions, and yet there's still a vehicle that will be either on the far lane from where we're at and still try to proceed through, and they'll get nervous and they'll speed up through, or they'll stop just in the middle of the intersection. And we just have to be mindful of that. They don't always see us. With lights and sirens going, a lot of people have distractions in their car, talking on cell phones or listening to the radio.
So next time you see an emergency vehicle coming your way, remember to pay attention to your surroundings and make way for them to pass you as easily as possible, because it's not just your safety that is at stake.